The Genesee County clerk is in trouble for illegally performing a marriage outside his jurisdiction, but that's not all.
It's what he's accused of doing after the ceremony that has his co-workers claiming harassment and gender discrimination. They say this stems from John Gleason illegally performing a marriage and then asking them to cover his tracks.
It's a case our Ann Perrette has been digging deeper into for weeks in an ABC 12 investigation, and you've uncovered some disturbing allegations about the clerk's actions.
Yes, through a Freedom of Information Act request, I received a number of emails involving a dozen Genesee County employees. They revealed their interactions with the clerk that sources tell me led to a criminal investigation. I did ask if any of them would be willing to speak on camera. They either didn't get back to me or don't feel comfortable coming forward.
On December 24th, Genesee County Clerk John Gleason married a couple at Owasso Memorial Hospital in Shiawassee County, outside of his jurisdiction. I asked the Shiawassee County Clerk about this. She told me he asked her for permission to perform the marriage on that day, and she gave verbal consent only. Without written consent, Michigan law states Gleason could be guilty of a misdemeanor. I tried to ask why she didn't give written consent, but because of the investigation, she said she couldn't answer specific questions, but did add she believes Gleason left out quite a few details in their conversation. Looking through the emails I received through my Freedom of Information Act request with the county, it's clear Gleason tried to clean up his mess about a month later. But his co-workers had an issue with how he went about it. An email from a supervisor in the clerk's office to Human Resources dated January 28th states, an employee she supervises came to her, quote, terribly upset and afraid that she would get in trouble if she didn't do as he requested. The supervisor explains instead of calling the employee into his office, Gleason instead took the employee into the hallway where he asked her to backdate the paperwork needed to validate the marriage. The email continues when the employee said no and explained the legal and clerical reasons why not. Mr. Gleason continued to insist that the employee create and backdate the records. The supervisor writes to HR his request is, quote, unusual, inappropriate, and illegal. She told the HR director she's writing to her because she, quote, would like to discuss with you the county's policies with regard to sexual harassment, general harassment, and intimidation. She's accusing Gleason of using his power of authority to get the employee to break the law. The rest of the emails reveal after Gleason didn't get what he wanted from that employee, he went upstairs to the probate court desk where he asked two women working there to help him. He was told the probate court does not have anything to do with marriages. From there, the complaint reads, Gleason made the following comment to the women, quote, you know, I have two kids at home just like you. They don't know anything either. And it says he continued to push the women to let him see the court administrator, who wasn't in the office. The complaint says Gleason said, look at that. It takes two women to do his job for him. One of those women tells HR in an email she was embarrassed by Gleason's, quote, misogynistic and condescending remarks. She continues, quote, his inappropriate behavior was completely uncalled for. No one should feel they have the authority to degrade me or any other woman this way. While those accusations won't lead to any criminal charges, the Genesee County Commissioners confirm they won't be overlooked. In a statement, the board says, quote, Genesee County is using an independent investigator to review the alleged allegations made by employees in regards to the Genesee County clerk. We will have no further comment in this manner until this investigation is complete.
So the question is, with John Gleason holding the office of county clerk since 2012, doesn't he know his actions were illegal? If so, could he be facing a more severe charge, the felony of misconduct in office? Coming up, I asked Gleason about these accusations and the criminal investigation, why he says he did nothing wrong, tonight at 6.
The county clerk is elected on a partisan basis for a 4-year term. And according to the Michigan Association of County Clerks, the role of a county clerk is one of the most diversified in the county government and includes a commitment to oversee nearly 600 statutes. Those laws fall into 4 major categories: clerk to the Board of Commissioners, clerk of the Circuit Court, registrar of vital statistics like certificates of birth, death, marriage, and military discharges, and applications for concealed pistol licenses. The clerk also acts as the chief election official for the county.
I don't consider myself being out of line through this process.
The Genesee County Clerk says he's not sure why he's the focus of a criminal investigation. At 5 o'clock, we told you John Gleason is accused of illegally performing a marriage outside his jurisdiction.
Also at 5, we obtained emails you saw from his co-workers detailing his alleged behavior. Now new at 6, we're hearing John Gleason's side of the story.
That's right. Our Ann Perret has been investigating these accusations for weeks. And Ann, he says he didn't do anything wrong?
Right now, I obtained these emails last week. They showcase accusations against John Gleason by his coworkers, saying he tried to intimidate, harass, and insult them in an attempt to get them to break the law for him. I spent the day trying to track him down. Just about 3 hours ago, we talked, but only with his campaign PR representative present.
We knew that it wasn't the right thing to do because we didn't have a license.
On December 24th, Genesee County Clerk John Gleason says he's called to Owasso Memorial Hospital in Shiawassee County.
We are gathered here today.
He was asked to marry a couple before their baby girl is born.
The most important thing to remember is the couple wanted to be married before the birth, which I think most mothers would want that to happen. Both parents would like that. I know I would like my daughter to be married before she had children.
With it being outside of his jurisdiction, he says he reached out to the Shiawassee County Clerk. She confirms she gave him verbal permission, but without written consent, Gleason could be found guilty of a misdemeanor. He says he shouldn't be because the wedding was an emergency. A month later, Gleason says he asked Shiawassee County to validate the marriage, but he says they refused. So he asked his own staff to not only validate, but also backdate the records. His staff claims he harassed them when they refused.
I never told her. I never demanded that she do this. She was definitely not harassed. I asked her. We sat down on a bench. A very friendly exchange. Very, very friendly exchange.
After that, the emails show he went to the probate court for help, and the women at that desk claim he made misogynistic and condescending remarks to them.
I remember speaking to a lady trying to get information. How do we do a secret marriage? I don't know.
Sources indicate to me police are investigating not only that misdemeanor, but if the clerk could be found guilty of the felony misconduct in office. The Genesee County Commissioners say they're also investigating. They've hired an independent investigator to review the alleged allegations.
I don't believe I did anything wrong.
And Gleason says this was all about trying to help a couple get married before they gave birth. He's even asking State Representative Tim Sneller to write a bill that would make what he did legal, performing what he considered an emergency marriage without a license. Sneller says he is considering drafting that bill, but there's nothing in the works right now.
All right, Anna, we are told the couple Gleason married is Latino, and new tonight, a Latino advocacy group in Flint says their community has been unfairly targeted by the sheriff's office as they investigate this case.
Latinos United for Flint says sheriff's deputies have been going to homes of Latinos harassing them over this secret marriage. In a statement, the group says it denounces the racist and stormtrooper tactics employed by the Genesee County Sheriff's Office in specifically targeting Latinos. We have reached out to the sheriff's office for comment and have not heard back.